You're listening to the Circle Up Prowl.
This is Boldcastify, the bold new way to podcast with your host.
Hello, my name's Clay.
Jay. My name's Jason.
This is Robert.
Circle Up Prowl, Season 2, Episode 14, Meat and Potatoes. Anyways, what do you think about the possible talks with Allen Robinson? There's not much there, but they've been talking. Well, true.
I'm not even mad about that.
No,
I'm good with that.
I mean, it's hard not to be.
But
do you think it's a little high? I mean, I kind of do.
We were discussing this for the show, and when we broke it down a little bit more, because he plays both guard and center.
That obviously probably spiked it.
Yeah,
playing at guard is a value.
Yeah,
playing at center, highest paid.
But I'm not even mad. Just the way the contracts are going to go. Same thing with Carr. Like, Carr's not overpaid. Carr's just the first to get paid.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know what pain is? Look at what the re-up is for an actual, like, legit franchise quarterback. Like, Drew Brees is putting off the talks with New Orleans because he will bankrupt that franchise if he goes for a new contract.
Oh, yeah. They can't afford it right now.
Go. So, I mean, it's whatever. With how hard it is to find offensive linemen, I'm fine with overpaying for...
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So who's next up? I think it's obvious that next up would be Allen Robinson. What wouldn't be obvious is it before the season or after the season? And I assume after the season. I assume they're letting everybody else play it out.
But the fact they're talking it out, I mean, he said he's going to let his people handle it.
Well, sounds like they are.
Yeah, I saw. We all watched the same interview, but you can kind of glean just from his facial expressions that he's
ready to get it done.
Yeah, he's ready to get it done, whether it's here or another city. I hope it's still here, because I think that guy will have a bounce back season for sure.
That's the risk you take, is if he has a good season, that payment's going to definitely go up.
But I think also his agent's not an idiot too, you know.
No.
So his agent's probably like, hey, you can either play out or you can sign up now.
Right.
And the pay is drastic. An average number one to a great number one.
I'm sure it definitely is drastic or drastic. But it's definitely something to be seen. But you see the money they've given Linder. You've seen the money they gave Hearns a couple years ago. Well, those are the only couple that have been re-signed under Caldwell.
Hearns needed to be re-signed because he was getting like $20 a week,
and his contract was already up. He only had a 2-year contract, anyways. So, and another thing, I don't know if you guys knew this. After this year, his money stopped being guaranteed, anyways. So he only had through 2017. So if he is slightly average, or below average, or just good,
or if Marquise Lee is better than him, and you want to replace him with Marquise Lee, you can easily do that.
You can easily trade him.
For the record, I don't think that happens.
But what do you think is his future?
I think that Marquise Lee is considerably more naturally talented than Hearns, and Hearns is just a better player because he tries harder. I think that he puts more effort into it, and I think Hearns will stick around. Is that the future you're talking about? Or are you talking about A-Rob?
I was talking about Lee.
Lee? I don't think he puts it together.
Don't think so?
People are trying to hype up the year he had last year like it was a great year.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad year. I'm not saying it was great, but it wasn't a bad year.
736 yards.
For the quarterback play he was getting, wasn't bad.
Who was the best receiver on this team, and why do you think he's the best receiver on this team?
Currently right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably still have to say A-Rob.
Why?
Just because of his consistency and his catching and jump balls, and how decisive his skills are.
You're talking about wow factor. You're talking about like made plays that you didn't expect somebody to make. He's done that more than any receiver by far. Marquise Lee got some numbers last year.
Yes, he did.
how many plays where you're like, wow, Marquise Lee, I can't believe he did that.
If you're looking at like Wells, crazy plays, you'd probably still have to look at A-Rob or Hearns.
Yeah.
Hearns has had some plays, and Hearns has struggled through a lot of injury
And
to make
Marquise
those
Lee
plays.
should have a lot more of them because he is the guy with the burst. He is the burner. He should have those plays. Yeah, I'll give it to you. There's a couple plays that got taken away from him because of how bad Blake was last year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still.
I mean, I'm not going to hold it against him right now because obviously he's still injury prevailing. He seems to go be healthy coming into this season. Let's see what he does with one more year.
He is definitely a wait-and-see guy.
Yes,
contract-wise for me.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, he's definitely after the fourth year guy. I guess I just wanted to know if you guys thought that we would, if there was any sort of potential, or do you think we let him walk?
I think you have to
There's
see how
potential
this season
there.
goes. You see how this season goes, and you're going to keep your number 1 receiver, and you're going to keep your number 2. I don't think you keep your number 3.
And I don't know, that's logic.
Well, what happens if Westbrook, who has wiggle, he wasn't even playing gunner today, so I don't really know.
He will make, if he has a breakout season, he will make letting go of that other receiver easier.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the whole
Hearns
concept.
or Lee is going to be gone. I think it's going to be Lee.
And that's the concept, is he will make it a lot easier, a lot more affordable to let go of that other receiver.
Gotcha. Either the second or the third, whichever one.
Whoever you're letting go of.
How strong are you on the feeling that they keep Robinson, Hearns, and Lee? What would you give a percentage?
Percentage-wise, going into next season?
Yeah.
25 for me.
It's there, but with all the receivers you have on this roster right now, with the potential, I'd say somewhere between 20 to 15.
I'd say there's a 90% chance
Wow.
that they don't. Yeah, see what I
Nice
did there?
swerve. I like that.
What a twist.
Boom.
I don't think it happens at all.
Well, the only reason I would assume that they could, they can, because after this year, Hearns, his guaranteed money is gone.
Right.
So he's expendable.
So he's definitely expendable. They don't have a legitimate tight end. They don't have to resign a legitimate tight end for 2 more years. Ben Koyak and Neil Sterling.
You're assuming that we have a legitimate tight end on our roster.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
So
They both look good in those last couple of games, but still.
So, in the tight end was what was eating up what you would assume was another
Percentage of the cap, yeah.
yeah. So
will be divvied up in between the receivers.
yeah,
So what you're saying, you come to terms and you realize that it's a good idea. We got rid of Julius Thomas.
I never wanted him to begin with. I flat out said it years ago.
Yeah.
I thought he was garbage then. He's still garbage now.
But you spent so much time being mad that we got rid of him.
I mean, I didn't understand it. It is what it is. I don't think we used him properly either here. I mean, there's a lot of things we can dive into that, but that's for another time.
That whole thing.
Yeah. It's a dead bones. It's a dead grave.
let's
It's
just leave that
buried
to
over. Let that one stay in Coral Gables.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let that be buried and get fat in Coral Gables.
all right. He probably. I will go on record as saying this: he will do much better in Miami than he will have ever done in Jacksonville.
He better.
He will.
It's a different system, too.
It's a different system.
It's more acclimated to him.
It's his freaking system that he played up in Denver.
Yes.
So,
That's why it's more acclimated to him.
and maybe they'll use him as a red zone target.
Isn't that
What a coinky dink!
Isn't that our biggest hope for this season? Is that
We
all
use-
the
we use
talent
our-
on our team gets used the way it should instead of the
Logically.
way it was? Because we have a whole bunch of talent on our roster that was just not used the way it could have been used.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I mean, it's like they're already talking through this first day of practice, to where we saw with Gus's training camp, you had separations between the first team, second team, and third team. They were evident separations.
They were exclusively playing, whereas today they were not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Competition
you
was a lie.
started seeing, competition was a lie. Today, you started seeing second teamers playing, a couple second teamers playing on the first team, couple third teamers playing on the first team, and vice versa, all over the place. So you're mixing and matching, trying to see what you got and how matchups work.
Yeah.
It's what it should be. That's how it goes. That's how it works.
I think the biggest indictment on the previous coaching staff would be the offensive line. Just like people, the first thing people said was like, "Oh, you're hiring the offensive line coach. The offensive line was terrible." Well, the guy becomes a head coach and blows up the entire offensive line. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
That tells you that he really
didn't like what he was working with.
He really didn't have the final say on his guys.
Yeah.
And he really couldn't put together the offensive line the way he wanted to as the offensive line coach.
And of course, it also was some word on the street that him and Greg Olson didn't get along very well.
Yeah, there's word on the street that Greg Olson didn't get along with
a lot of people. But there was supposedly a lot of issues on the offensive line, on the scheming of the offensive line between him and Olson.
I remember the big jump in production just the week after Olson was fired on running.
Absolutely.
That was a minor change. They didn't change personnel up. That was just scheme.
That was just a minor scheme. And you can see it was very evident.
They also abandoned the run like after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There were some games, I don't know if you guys remember them. I can't even really remember them. I don't want to remember them. But I do remember the fact that literally after the first drive, we go 3 and out. The other opposing team goes down the field, and then next thing you know, we're just throwing. So by halftime, we're down 17-0 or 17-3.
But a lot quicker.
Yeah. It's great.
It was great. Love to throw the ball and really put it in Blake's hands.
Yeah, even though they swore, and they proved it to us with Toby Gerhardt.
That was the epitome of last season right there. I would have to say that was probably one of the points of last season.
What's that?
Well, not last season. Sorry, a couple of years ago.
Toby Gerhardt running four times.
Toby Gerhardt running.
Yeah, 2015 against Buffalo is like just that is the microcosm of the Gus Bradley era.
Yeah,
and that's when I would have fired him.
Watching a coach just be so stupidly stubborn and not adjusting
at all. Same formation, same setup. They didn't do anything. 4
times in a row, couldn't get a yard.
Nope.
That is the greatest explanation of the Gus Bradley era.
And as more's come out, Jalen, I think, said it a couple of weeks ago, and a few people have said it, that their defense was very simplistic and they wouldn't come out of different things.
Well, yeah,
They didn't make a lot of changes.
We saw,
we all saw that too. Yeah,
we all saw the Bill O'Brien footage where he's like dissecting the Jaguars and like they do the same thing every time on 3rd down.
Yeah, he's straight calling us out.
Had it so figured out because it was that simple.
And what game was it last season? That I think it might have been like 7th or 8th game where Jalen just started freelancing, and you could see a little difference on that side of the field. Whereas I don't know for sure, but I felt like Prince was still trying to follow.
Stick to the plan.
Yeah, stick to
the Seattle 3 or whatever it was.
Whereas
the Gus's
manipulated Seattle 3.
I don't know. Let's leave that buried and dead.
We can
move on.
The whole point of that concept, and not even going down that rabbit hole, you have to have imagination. You have to have imagination going against multiple 31 NFL teams. You can't just do the same thing over and over and over.
And I am, as much as I wasn't a huge fan of Doug Marrone, I am willing and totally accepting. I just want to win.
I'm a fan of Doug Marrone.
I like Doug Marrone. I like the hire. I did then.
I could care less.
He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
I mean, it was good nor bad in my opinion. So I mean, I just want to win. So if he takes our team and helps them win.
Because did y'all hear that Mercedes comment where he basically said that he liked Doug Marrone? He said he's probably one of the best coaches. This is one of the better teams he's been on. Possibly one of the best teams he's been on, and this is one of the best coaching. He's probably one of the best coaching staffs he's been on. And he likes Doug because he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. He's not like a French pastry kind of guy. So I don't know who would be French pastry.
I don't understand.
Take it for yourself.
I don't understand
Who's
that.
French pastry?
I don't understand that. I don't understand that concept either. Because I'm assuming Gus Prowl is the French pastry kind of guy, and he's supposed to be simple.
Well, not necessarily. But he did say that he thinks that this is the most talented team he's been on in 12 years.
That says something because he was on a couple of playoff teams.
He was on the 07 team.
Yeah.
And the 06 team, which I think was the more talented, less achieving team.
Yes.
That's a telltale sign.
So, I mean, I think that, that's
That's
preseason talk.
It is. A lot of it is. You get that.
Anything.
But we're getting it from Calais. We're getting it from Malik. We're getting it from a seasoned veteran out of Mercedes.
That's only been on like 3 winning teams in 12 years.
What a bummer.
It's a damn shame for him. It really is.
Hey, hell, maybe we could turn it around.
Joke's on you. I don't think he's been on 3 winning teams.
No.
I think so.
The 07 team was a winning team.
06, was that a winning team?
Yeah.
That was an 8-8 team.
Oh.
Okay, more than 500 then, I guess.
2 500 teams and 1 winning team.
There you go. That's a wrap.
What a bummer.
That's Mercedes' career. A few 500s, a winning team, and a whole bunch of losing.
Whole lot of garbage.
Whole bunch of trash time.
Duval.
And wow, I don't know where else to go from there, ladies and gentlemen.
We are excited though.
We are
can't
excited.
help it.
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, by the way, Gary Barnidge was in town, so there's that. Local Middleburg product.
Sure.
He was in town.
Make room for him.
Former Cleveland Brown.
I would have been fine with it.
It still could happen. He's gotten no interest this whole offseason.
No, that's kind of...
Because he's older.
What is he, 31, 32?
33, 32.
I remember him in high school. When he was at Middleburg when I was in high school.
Really old then.
Yeah, I
he'd
mean,
get up there.
in the whole scheme of the NFL thing, he's like a grandpa.
Yeah, it's a young man's league. That it is.
We could use him on the tight ends spot though.
Never hurts. Never hurts to have another option.
We really don't got
Especially going into camp.
Yeah, sure.
We gotta hope that Mercedes can pull from that old man strength and
Hulk
carry
up.
that whole position group.
Yeah, because I mean, it's definitely got a lot later.
We had that Michael Rivera dude. I guess he wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do.
He's supposed to be the quote move tight end for us.
All right, well, to wrap this sucker up, what player are you looking to watch for in this training camp?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Okay, can we pick one for offense and defense?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? We'll do it.
All right.
One offense, one defense.
I know. I just really. I was talking to Justin a couple days ago, actually, I think, and I'm going to go defense. Our 4th round pick, I believe, linebacker.
Okay, Blair Brown.
Yeah,
5th round pick.
5th round pick. Okay, and
I like that. Good choice.
offense, Cam Robinson.
Not bad. Not bad choice.
I know I totally went off the record and didn't choose an undrafted guy. I don't really care this year. I want winners. And if winners come from undrafted, they come from draft picks, I don't care.
Load. I've got 2 people, and they aren't undrafted. They aren't rookies. Well, one's a rookie. 2 people I just want to see because I haven't seen any practices at all. One, number 27 on your offense. Your new starting running back, Leonard Fournette.
Well, I think
he's just one I want to watch.
Oh,
He's people to watch.
because the great one, Tony Basile, already said he's a once in a generation running back. So,
Oh yeah, he's one I want to sit out there and see with my own eyes.
nice. I agree. I wouldn't mind.
Especially since there's no pads. We're not going to see any pads yet.
until Saturday night.
Oh well, I guess we will Saturday night, so that may change my views.
Yeah, we'll see stuff
And
pretty
then-
quick with the joint practices.
And that's the joint practices. I cannot wait. And then on defense, Calais Campbell.
That should be fun.
Yeah,
'Cause I've wanted to see Calais Campbell since he was in college.
Dude, serious.
Yes, he is.
My picks. Well, for me, camp isn't about the sure things. Like, I'm pretty sure Fournette's gonna
Right.
do some stuff. I'm looking for that
diamond in the rough.
I'm looking for that story.
I agree.
You always got that guy. My guy in the past, Aurelius Ben was my guy, and
Sample is my guy.
Sample, yeah, can prove that he exists.
Yeah, well.
Good luck. Hunter Dimmick, the undrafted free agent defensive end from Utah, who led the Pac-12 in sacks, is my defensive guy.
That's
to
a
watch.
solid pick. That's a damn good pick.
That is a good one.
And he has a chance to make this roster because who do we have at defensive end? We've got Yannick Ngakoue, and that's it.
Yep, that's true.
We got this dumb baby from St. Petersburg that I don't know how much longer he'll be around.
At least 2 more years.
So I can easily see him losing more snaps. And Hunter Dimmick made the very elusive force player list. There's this list
Force
of
players.
Yeah, there's this list of players, and like 75% of them have worked out so far. Coming out of college, they get listed as a force player based on certain stats, sabermetrics, garbage.
That makes sense.
For the most part, they're good. They're really good players. JPP was a force player, for example. And Hunter Dimmick was the only undrafted free agent that was a force player. I'm excited to see if he can make something happen. And he has a really good chance of making the roster because he's 270, but he's got great pass rushing skills. He could work on the weak side or the strong side.
Heck yeah. That sounds very multiversatile.
I like multiversatile. I'm big on that. And then if you're looking for a story, you have a sadder story in the Rashad Green story.
Ooh, ouch.
It's like watching a dying star. So really, D.D. Westbrook would be what I'm looking for. I'm looking for D.D. Westbrook to push Rashad Green off the roster.
I see. I don't feel like that causes one to push the other.
Well, I will tell you this much.
I honestly don't right now. And get back to me in 2 weeks. We'll see.
D.D. Westbrook was not returning punts today.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I just don't feel like that. There's no Garnett talking there. I just don't feel like it's lateral.
Was Rashad Green returning punts?
I believe so.
4 of them. 4 different people.
Yeah.
Tweet back at him when you can do what he does.
Along
And
with
by
someone else.
do what he does, I mean drop punts.
He dropped 1.
Yeah, he did.
1.
And he went to go shit talk fans after it.
Along with a whole bunch of other players.
Yeah.
Just saying. He wasn't the only one, so you be salty all you want, but a whole bunch of other players.
Yes,
were talking
Allen
Two
Robinson.
punts last year.
Allen Robinson talks some little shit. You want to sign him back?
Yes, I do.
So
Because he actually looked good. Did Rashad Green look good last year?
it didn't look great, but I mean, I'm just saying, a whole bunch of players were talking at the same time.
Allen Robinson looked like utter garbage last year.
So he was
bro.
taking the wing from his other veteran players. So he was hopping in the same boat.
Sure.
I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it was smart. But
Allen Robinson had a bad year and still looked okay.
yeah, but it's still not right.
Rashad
either
Green
way.
had a bad year and looked like a bad player.
Oh, he had injuries also.
That's why they keep telling me Jeremiah Parnell is going to be good because he was hurt last year. Keep hearing the same thing for him too.
Well, I mean, we can only go on what we hear.
He only had one good year and one crappy year.
Yeah,
So
one
we'll
okay
see.
year. 15, he wasn't that good. I don't think.
Yeah, pretty good return, and for what he was doing, he went down.
Oh, you're talking about Rashad. I'm talking about Parnell.
Yeah, I was talking about Rashad. But my other guy, if you really want to look at someone to keep an eye on, I'll just give one guy to keep an eye on. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but it was
You're going to try.
I'm going to really try. I'm going to really screw this up. Atita Tuato Amama. I'm not really sure. But anyways, the Syracuse wide receiver that's undrafted, number 16. Keep an eye on him. Good receiver, good hands. I think there's a lot of potential there. He actually may be a roster guy. So
Feels like the longest of odds.
Longest of odds, especially with the roster we already have. But if there's someone that could possibly bump a Rashadi off, that could be your guy.
And we got
Because he's got a burst.
We got Smoot from Illinois.
Yes.
And we also got Carroll Phillips from Illinois. Both of those guys were the pass rush. And so we're going to figure out which one of them was the good one, and we're going to keep him. I think that's.
I'm about to say, and that's a pretty good plan. One was a third-round pick, the other was undrafted.
Yeah,
So we're going to figure out which one.
Case.
Yeah, just in case one's not good, we got to fail safe.
Now I think Hunter Dimick is the undrafted guy that makes the roster.
That's a really good choice. That's the best. Honestly, probably the best pick out of for the Diamonds in the roster for the undrafted. So that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the Circle Up Prowl. Till next time, we'll see you next time for the start of the 2017 preseason up in New England. Till then, go Jags.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for stopping by. This has been a Boldcastify production and is produced just for the people of Duval and beyond. Also, show notes and upload dates are found at boldcastify.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorites on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat at Boldcastify. All links are on social media. Think bold. Speak bold. Live bold. Boldcastify.